Welcome. Good. Welcome, everybody, and welcome to our Sky Vision Lounge, where we do live analysis 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays during the London session and the New York session. So today, as we like to say, we like to ask 3 questions before we take any trade. And these 3 questions help us get the direction that we want to trade. Okay, so the first question I'm sure we know is, what did price do? Oh, look at that. What did price do overnight? So in other words, we're just saying, what did price do before I came to the chart? So right now we are right here. So you're asking the question, what did price do before you got here? And then you do the analysis of that market using any of the 3 setups that we have, or a combination of those 3, right? Break of structures, market structure shifts, and rejection candles. So you're asking, what did price do overnight? Is it trending or is it ranging? That's one. Where is price now? You can easily mark that to say, yes, price is right now at the 5180 something number value, right? And then what must I see price do before I execute a trade? Okay, that's the cross of the matter there. What must you see price do before you execute a trade? You must mentally say that this is what I want to see before I execute a trade, and not just trade randomly, because we don't want to trade randomly. We want to have a process. We want to have a process, and not just having a process, but a repeatable process, a process that we can repeat over and over and over again, such that once they wake you up at any time of the day, anytime T, and say, what is this? You can easily just say it is XYZ, right? Beautiful. Okay, so let's do the analysis. Let me expand this a little bit and then move this up a bit. Okay, good. Right, so what did price do overnight? So price started from there, moved down, moved up. Nice break of structure, right? Once you get to break of structure, what do you expect? You expect a pullback, right? Price pulled back, eventually giving us another break of structure right up there, okay? And then from there, what did it do next? We expect a pullback, right? It pulled back and still pulled back and still pulled back and you can see what was happening here, right? What is the price doing here? So it pulled back first, tried to go up, could not sustain that, still pulled back, could not do that, came back up again, then pulled back again, right? Could not do that. Then on this candle here, it actually broke it gave you your market structure shift, right? On that candle, somewhere down there, right? And then so you had an opportunity, if you were following it that time, an opportunity to take a quick sell, right? Now it's come back in here. Okay, so given that it's given us a market structure shift somewhere there, what does that imply when we're using our process? It implies that our last valid range is between these lows here and these highs. That's what it implies, right? Because it has given us a market structure shift to the downside. Okay, so all this, will regard it as a pullback, and then we're expecting price to potentially fall. Okay, that's what we're expecting. We're expecting price to potentially fall. Why? Because we have a market structure shift, right? So let me put that there right here. So this is our line in the sand, and we say to ourselves that if price from this zone here now, right, if it does something like this and breaks above these highs here, then it is no longer, that market structure shift was not sustained, right? Is there any way for us to know whether it is going to sustain it or not? No, there is no way we will ever know. All we know is that we have a market structure shift, and then we can take a trade, right? And I'm sure somebody is looking at this nice engulfing candle there and saying, oh, what about that candle? Yes, that is a setup as well. Are you willing to take that risk? If you're willing to take the risk, that's fine, right? So this is a rejection candle. So remember, we have those 3 setups. This is a rejection candle. You can decide that, okay, for this rejection candle, even though I have a market structure shift right there, right, so that it will potentially go down, I have a rejection candle right here. Yes, I can take a trade, put my stop loss somewhere there or at the lows, right? And then expect price to move up, right? It's not about being right or wrong. It's about following a process and being consistent with that process. We want to make profits. That is all we care about, right? And it doesn't matter which process is better than the other. No, we're not looking at that. That is not the priority. They all work at their own individual times. Okay. But the thing is that you do not know when which one works and which one would not work per time, right? Like I said some time ago, that the word says you should sow in the morning, in the afternoon too, sow again, in the evening too, sow, because you do not know which one will bring in the profits, right? So it is not in our, we have not been given that privilege to know what is happening, definitely, to know what is going to happen in the future. But we can prepare ourselves. That is all we're doing. So if you do take a risk and say, okay, I'm taking a risk here, putting a sell there, right? Put my stop loss there. You have to risk within the what do we call it now? Within the proper risk management that you have predetermined before you took a trade, right? So for instance, if you say, okay, each trade setup, I'm going to risk 1%. So you risk 1% here, and if you get stopped out, that is fine. It's 1% that are just gone. Then you just wait for the next setup and just take your 1% and see if that will go further. Right? Okay, beautiful. Meanwhile, I actually took a trade, a buy, but I was stopped out on that. Well, I actually closed it. And then currently I'm in a sell. So I'm hoping, well, let's not say hope. No, I'm expecting that price will turn, right? I have my stop loss at the highs there. Okay. So let's see what price will do. Okay. And I'm not attached to it, whatever. It can do whatever it wants to do, right? If it goes up, if I'm still willing to take another risk, then I'll take the risk. But if not, I will not take any more risks, right? On this particular pair. Okay, so let's look at this other one. This one has been phenomenal today. This is pound yen, GJ, right? What has GJ done overnight? Started out from here, pushed down, came up, pushed down, gave us a massive candle there, right? Push down, push down, push down a bit, and then give us a massive push up, right? A pullback, another push up, another push down, and then it's still in that phase, right? We can see this, right? And say that this market is pushing up, right? It's pushing up. We can see all the breakup structures that is happening. You can see the breakup structures and you can see where the price is moving. Okay, so if you are not in a trade at all, just wait for a pullback and then see if you can continue in that direction of the market. Okay, so this one is a good trade that we entered earlier today. So right now, because we already have a breakup structure here, so this zone here will be our line in the sand. So that if price, because sometimes it could do that, if price then comes below there, then we expect a change of direction. But for now, we're expecting price to continue pushing up. Okay, so for now, we expect price to continue pushing up. All right, let's look at Euro Yen. Euro Yen too, what did price do overnight? Very nice trend upwards. So it's pushed down, push up, push down, and then a massive push up during Asia, and then it's pulled back, and then it's just gone all the way up, push down, push up, push down, and then it's trying to just continue going up, right? So what do we expect price to do? This one is rather tight, compared to GJ. So I'll rather take these lows here just to give it some room to see if perhaps if it's going to continue that push up, maybe it should just come down a bit and then continue going up. Okay, we expect that. However, if we get a big bearish rejection there, we get a big bearish candle there like that, then we'll definitely look for opportunity to sell. But right now it's looking very bullish indeed, right? So let's see what price will do on this one. Okay, next pair is Pound Aussie. Yes, GJ. Oh, sorry, GA. What is GA doing? GA is just going Okay. Started out from somewhere there, a push down, a push up, a nice trend initially, right? And then, of course, like Jim Rohn says, success leaves clues. Look at all these hesitations to continue going downwards, right? Hesitation, hesitations, hesitations, and then boom. So during the London session, give you a nice break of structure right there. So if you're trading GJ, this would be your exact level for you to enter for a buy. And then it's come up here, it's just gone sideways. And then now we're expecting price to potentially now that it has pulled back, we're expecting it potentially push up. Okay. At what level would we say this is no longer a valid range? So that will be down here. This is the last. It's not a qualifying one, actually. It should be the lower one. So if your account can hold it, then that's good, right? This is the last valid range down here. This one is not a valid range because the high of this candle is higher than this previous candle. So this is your proper valid range here. This is the last opposite candle that caused this push up rather, right? So let's see if price is going to continue going up from there, or if it's going to reverse and then see us come back down. Okay, because GA sometimes does it will just suddenly push up and then suddenly push back down. Right. So it does that sometimes. Okay, let's look at the next pair. Pound USD. Okay, pound USD is trying to do as if it's going up. At least it's showing us some evidence. So it's pushing up like that, push up, and then it started changing direction here. Change direction, break of structures to the downside, and right now it's breaking structures here. Okay, so let's see if this will then push down and then continue going up because it's done a market structure shift. No, it's actually done. This is break of structure. So this is a break of structure up here with the break of this zone here. That's the break of structure to the top side. Okay, so let's see if that would be held, if it's to sustain that level. Okay, and of course we put our stop loss at the lows here. So if you are trading pound USD, so we're expecting price to push up, potentially to push up. Okay, Euro USD, yep, the same thing too, potentially. Okay, let's see what it has done. So it's started from here, push up, push down a bit, push up. So nice trend upwards. And then eventually it just meandered down. It wasn't convincing, a lot of hesitation candles, and then eventually just came all the way down. Now it's pulling back. So the question is, what is it going to do? With the break of structures here, what is it going to do? It's either it will push to some certain level. So your last valid range is at this highs here, right? At this highs here. So you expect price to push up maybe to some level and then continue that push down. That's what you expect because we have a break of structure. However, if it does not do that, what can it do? It can then from this level push up somewhere there and perhaps give us a market structure shift somewhere there, right? Give us a market structure shift to the top side and then just move up from there. Okay, it can do any of those things, and we do not have control over any of those things. We just have to position ourselves for the trade. Just position yourself for the trade and see if that will then work out the way you expected it. Okay, let's look at UJ. Okay, UJ is UJ2 moved up. So it started from here, moved down, push up again, move down, then a big rejection candle from the lows there, eventually came down, and then eventually just ratcheted all the way up. Okay, a push down there. And then, so right now it's trying to decide. I mean, this is a nice engulfing candle, but it's still like is an indecision. It's trying to decide, should we go down or should we move back up? So the story here is not very, very clear, right? It's either it wants to move back up, or by the time it then comes below. So where is the last break of structure? I think it's here, yeah, this zone here. So by the time it then comes all the way back down, and if that is not sustained, if this zone here does not hold it, right, and if it doesn't hold it like that, then we have a potential that it will come down and just continue like that. Okay, so we always have an either or process that is likely to happen. It's either this will happen or the other one will happen. So, but right now, overall, it's still sort of bullish. This is still bullish. Okay, right now it's bullish, but we have some hints that the sellers are also coming in. So the question now is, will the sellers actually push it down, or will the sellers push it back up? Or will the buyers push it back up? So that's where we are now. Okay, excellent. Do we have any questions? Yeah, let me check the chart in the chat box. I don't think I saw any questions there. No questions. Good. So the important thing here, let's keep practicing, just keep practicing your trade process over and over and over again. Over time, you will begin to see those wins come in. And it's always a flow, right? Like they say, like a sine wave. For those of us who are scientists, it's always like a sine wave, right? Like that. Okay, it will go up some bits, then come down, then go up again, then come down, then go up again, come down. It's always like that. Even in the stocks market, it's always like that. So the important thing is that you stick to your process and then watch the profits come in as time goes on. Okay, beautiful. All right, so we'll be back next week and do our trading. So we wish you a very happy trading time and let the profits come in. Okay, thank you very much.